So I'm back. I just wanted to share one more experience with you because because I'm in the moment, and this is kind of what this is all about. It's like people can talk about this state of being or seeing beyond our thinking and, observing our experience and all of it. And it's like I'm just trying to bring it alive with examples and experiences so then you can bring it alive with your own kind of um, illustrations and examples that you can reflect on, maybe. And so this was when my daughter went on her travels. She went to New Zealand after school, and she was traveling on her own, and she was going on doing the trails and going from hut to hut. And I just happened to notice that she hadn't been on her phone at all, I don't know, for several days. And I just happened to have this thought of, what if something's happened to her? Like, how will I know? Or, what does it mean? It means something that, she hasn't been on it. What does it mean? Where is she? What if she's vanished? And I started to put, like I was saying before, you can put one thought onto another thought, onto another thought, and very quickly you can build some creation in your mind, and it can look terrifying. And it was funny because my husband, who didn't give it a meaning and just he didn't create anything in his mind. And if you look at it, it's the same. What's going on is the same, on the outside, but what we're creating are different experiences on the inside. I'm creating something different from my husband. And you might get kind of lost in the content around, should I have been creating that? Or should he have been worrying more? Or should I, why was I worrying? And all of that. And that's just the content. That's kind of not really what this is about. It's more about what happened next. Because I almost made a conscious decision to completely allow and accept what I was doing, this overthinking, this catastrophizing. I decided to just let it play out. And what it felt like was like an orchestra of, I remember being given Peter and the Wolf when I was little and playing it on my record player. Shows how old I am. And, you've got the loud drums and the timpani and and it was almost like this was playing out, and it got so loud, this orchestra, my thinking, my catastrophizing. But on some level, I knew that I was doing it. I knew I was creating it. And I kind of thought, this is going to be showing me something. It's going to be teaching me something. There's something in here for me. I'm just going to let it play out. And so I let it play out, and it got really uncomfortable. The thoughts kept coming. I kept trying to, I was just imagining that I was never going to see her again, or she'd been, I don't know, abducted, or I don't know. I just thought, and she's on her own, and anything could have happened. And I was just taking myself, and the effect that it has on your body, because you're in kind of fight or flight. You're just really terrifying yourself. And I felt it through my body. Oh my God, I actually got to a point I felt sick. I felt really sick. I was just, but I let it play out. I thought, no, I'm just going to keep going with it. I did it all day. I was just like, because I didn't kind of just try and get rid of it. I didn't go and kind of talk to someone for reassurance to help me, come out of my head about it. Or I just thought, no, just let it play out. And it was funny because in the afternoon, I was in the garden and I just stood still. I don't think it was even conscious. I just found myself standing still. Like remembering that quote, stand still, the trees know where you are. It was something like that. Stand still and pay attention to the silence. And in that moment, it felt as though I started to, my attention shifted and I started to hear the birdsong. It's like this piece of music, you know, the loud drums and the racket that I was creating in my head, it kind of shifted. And I started to hear the flutes, you could say, the birdsong. And it felt as though the birds were singing to me. And this might sound silly, but I was so in the moment. And in that moment, I could see, you know, I could see my belief. I could see what I was doing. And it was like, oh my God, Kate, you want certainty. That's what you're looking for. That's what you're telling yourself. You're telling yourself, I'm okay. I'm not okay if I don't have certainty. I don't have certainty around, you know, the people I love in my life. If I don't know with certainty that, you know, exactly where they are or they're going to be okay or whatever, if I don't have that certainty, then I've told myself that I'm not okay. And so, of course, I'm feeling it throughout my body and I'm reacting to that. And the more I stood still and the more I saw what I was doing, I kind of realized it was like I can teach my children, you know, as much as I can about, you know, if they're going to go traveling and to be safe, and I can teach them, I can be a parent. But ultimately, then they're going to go and find their own way. And I can't have certainty around what's going to happen. And when I saw this, I just kind of felt this incredible connection, not only with my own well-being, but with my daughter's well-being. It was like I realized she's got everything she needs to navigate life, to deal with life. And also, I've got everything I need to navigate, you know, whatever's going to happen. I can't control or know with certainty what is going to happen to my children. You know, I can't know that. But I can know that I've got everything I need to deal with whatever comes my way. We all do. You know, we all have that within us. And you know, it's like nothing changed on the outside. Nothing changed. And yet I felt completely different. The overwhelm was gone. That feeling of being sick was gone. I felt light. I felt incredible gratitude for my daughter's being. You know, I just felt incredible gratitude and connection somehow with her. And everything just lifted. And it's like I didn't need certainty in that moment. And it was really funny as well, because I woke up the next morning and I knew. I was like, she's going to ring me today. Like, now that I don't need her to ring, now that I don't need to know where she is, because I thought, no, she'll probably ring me. And she did. Pretty much when I thought she would ring, she just rang. And she was like, you know, I'm having a great time, and, you know, I'm meeting all these lovely people on these trails, and my phone, you know, the humidity got into all the buttons on the phone, so it wouldn't work, and I couldn't do anything on my phone, and that was quite nice. And I told her about my catastrophizing and how I'd like gone completely in this mad, you know, this mad, crazy jaunt in my head, and how I'd learnt from it. And I'd learnt that I can't have certainty in life. None of us can. But we can know that we have everything we need to navigate through the storms, through the difficult stuff, because difficult stuff is going to come our way. And rather than being frightened of the difficult stuff, it's much easier to know that you have everything you need. You know, you'll deal with things when they happen. You'll know what to do when they happen, rather than worrying about them before they happen, needing certainty that they're not going to happen. You can't control that. But the sense of knowing that we have everything we need kind of makes it a bit easier, because then We don't need to control it all. We don't need certainty. So that was my catastrophizing and allowing it all to play out in the knowledge that it would be teaching me something, and it did. And I'm sharing that with you.